Cultaholic gonna bring you news. We do the vids and we hope for views. Some say I look like Apollo Crews, said with a far better body. Headlines. First off, we have the reported reason for Rusev not being featured on TV. An injured WWE superstar looks to be out for longer than expected. And WWE is polling fans on future WrestleMania locations with some rather fascinating choices. So Rusev hasn't appeared on WWE TV for a fair few weeks now. He's been paired, obviously, with Shinsuke Nakamura in the most pointless tag team ever. Both of those guys should be mid to top of the card. Yep. They're not. They've been thrown together, and none of it makes any sense. They're hardly on SmackDown ever. That's the brand that they're on. And it's very, very frustrating because those two guys are terrific. However, we have the reason for Rusev not being on TV. It's not as glamorous or as exciting as one may hope.
Okay.
Rusev, he last performed at Super Showdown. That's the last time we saw him. Hasn't been around because he literally just asked for some time off.
It's fair enough. It's nice. It's a rigorous schedule.
That's the way that I would describe this. Yeah. Is nice because it is a rigorous schedule, and it's nice to hear as the guys are able to take some time off when they need it. Sure, he's not being used much, but at the same time, we've had previous reports that people have requested time off. They've said no, you're not allowed that time off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually quite glad, and I'm glad that it's not something like it's not an injury.
Yeah.
It's not that they maybe just don't have anything for him. I think that probably factors into
it's
it
not
because
like personal issues. It's not. It's just wanted time off.
Yeah, and that's lovely. Sorry, it's not more glamorous, but there you go.
At least though, it means that WWE aren't as big and bad as people are making out. I think
it's some positive PR for WWE at a time that I think they desperately need it.
Yeah.
Next up, we reported last week that Lars Sullivan is currently out with an injury, and it was believed that it wasn't too bad.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's been new developments to this, and he has gone under an MRI, which has revealed that it's far more serious than expected. We don't have a definite amount of time that he's going to be out for, but the average for the injury that he sustained is 6 to 9 months. This couldn't come at a worse time for Lars.
Yeah. Do we know what the injury was?
No, we don't have the specifics, but the company believes that he will be out for 6 to 9 months. That is a long time.
That's a lot. It's scary.
Just been called up to the main roster. He just had some rather confusing, rubbish matches with the Lucha House Party, including the one that ended in a schmoz at bloody Super Showdown. And yeah, I think this is going to be quite difficult to come back from. The hype is not going to be there when he returns because he hasn't been established as enough of a star on the main roster.
That, and because of the situations that were unfolding, I think that could be something that is in his favour, that the time away might help sort of distance himself a little bit from all
the comments that he made on the forums and social media. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I will say that I think it's actually a little bit easier to deal with this than other superstars had it happen to them, because Lars, he just plays the role of monster heel, and that's a role that I actually think he plays really well.
Oh, very well. It's just I think it's important that this has happened like without him having a belt or without him being in a major storyline. Like the fact that he's not involved with any of that stuff is good because it means that he's not losing anything really. He can always come back and be a monster heel.
That's true. Bad that he's just been called up, but good that he's not involved in like a title picture or anything like that. And as I say, I actually think it's quite easy to reintroduce him because he just has to come out and do the same shtick.
Yeah.
And actually have some matches would be a positive.
Or have a stable of monsters.
A stable of monsters? Who are you going to put in the stable of Lars monsters?
Kevin Nash. Dressed as Oz.
Yes, I'm with you now.
The Yeti.
The Yeti.
Basically, we're just going to get them all back together.
Fantasio. Yeah. He wasn't really a monster, but everyone likes magic tricks. Next up, WWE have recently sent out a marketing study to people who have previously attended various WrestleManias. They've asked them various questions, including how much you spend on merch, how much you spent on travel, etc., etc. But one of the most interesting questions that was a part of this poll was future WrestleMania location ideas. And this is interesting because it's not the usual locations. There's some very interesting locations on there, one of which is London. Don't. What do you mean?
I can't see them. It'd be like putting the Super Bowl in London. I can't see them doing Mania outside of like North America. I could see like a SummerSlam in London.
Yeah,
again,
a Rumble. Like, give us a Rumble, please.
I mean, Royal Rumble, it's right there in the name. Like
King Barrett return, please.
Yeah, and I just can't see them feasibly putting their biggest show, the big American spectacle.
It's fascinating that they've included it, because Triple H has hinted in interviews before that they'd love to be in the UK doing more big shows.
Yeah.
WrestleMania would be
I'd love Michael
unreal.
Cole just trying to explain that it's the exact same stadium as SummerSlam 92, despite the fact it's not.
It's not.
And it'll keep cutting to all this aerial footage of a big square stadium and then aerial footage of the current big round one. And he'll just be trying to explain it all away. It'll be great.
At least he can mention the name of the location, unlike other shows. However, there are some also interesting names on there, and 3 of these in a row. Chicago, Jacksonville, Las Vegas. Chicago is going to be the center of All Out.
CM Punk.
Jacksonville is the home of AEW.
Just real quick.
Fight for the Fallen is there. And just before you go, Las Vegas, where of course Double or Nothing took place. Jacksonville being on there is weird. Chicago, big wrestling town. That makes sense. Las Vegas, big wrestling town. That makes sense as well. Jacksonville, I know they've got wrestling fans there,
but like they go to Jacksonville, right? They get the stadium in Jacksonville. Who owns the stadium in Jacksonville? Are they really going to pay the cons to run WrestleMania in Jacksonville? Like, what?
Do it in a parking lot, it's fine. There were some other names mentioned, other locations here. Santa Clara, Houston, Dallas, Santa Claus will be there. Philadelphia, Toronto, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa, all fairly predictable names, but those interesting ones, certainly London.
Oh God, yeah.
Please,
give us Mania, please.
I know it's selfish. I know we're a British wrestling YouTube channel. You're fed up with us talking about how much we want to see a pay-per-view, a proper pay-per-view, not just an NXT takeover, although it was brilliant. I was there. We want to see a proper one here. We'll shut up about it now. Chicago, Jacksonville, Las Vegas. Those are the curious ones.
Only if though. Only London if. Say if they do SummerSlam, right? Blade Hart versus Davey Jr.
Oh my God, yes! Yeah. Book it! And finally, some more good news for WWE. They're getting an award!
What?
It's not a Grammy, it's not an Emmy, it's not a...
Grammy.
Raspy, what are they called?
Raspy,
the Golden Raspberries, whatever. It is ESPN's ESPY Award. WWE, for the first time ever, is getting a category there, the best WWE moment. Sports fans can vote on this now. The 4 nominees are Roman Reigns and his return to Raw.
Right.
An amazing moment, obviously. Announcing his leukemia was in remission. Becky Lynch beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, capturing both those titles. Kofi Kingston beating Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and Ronda Rousey beating Bliss to win the women's title.
Right, just real quick.
Yes.
You said WWE's getting an award. I thought WWE were being awarded something.
They sort of are. They've got a category in an award show.
ESPN.
Oh, they'll be talking about this for bloody months.
ESPN, a legitimate sports outlet.
Well, that's why it's interesting, these 4 things. If it was wrestling fans, I would argue that Roman Reigns would be a dead cert to win. Just because of the real-life implications and the feel-good factor of Roman Reigns announcing something so spectacular.
No, but I get it, and it's interesting, but it's so pandery. Because if it's a wrestling award for pro wrestling or sports entertainment, then there needs to be other moments from other companies in there to make it feel more legitimate.
Best WWE moment.
No, but
WWE moment.
Just calling it the best WWE moment feels like it's an agreement between the companies. This will be on 1 or 2 ESPY awards, and then it'll never be seen again.
Yeah,
it feels like it's a marketing deal. It doesn't feel like it's an actual award.
I agree. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. As I say, I think Roman Reigns would win if this was wrestling fans, but ESPN, lots of big sports fans. The actual favourite for this, I think, is probably the weakest moment of the 4, which is Ronda Rousey beating Alexa Bliss to win the women's title. Which
I mean, it's a very big moment.
It was a big moment, and obviously she's got more of a legitimate sporting background than the other people on the list. But expect WWE to just blab on about this for months and months.
It's Ronda, innit? Because then Ronda can turn up as a legitimate sports person. And she's going to be there going like, wrestling's legit, I'm Ronda Rousey. By the way, I'm pregnant. Way!
All right. Congratulations to Ronda Rousey is what Sam meant to say there.
No, I was sort of like, get all the feel-good stuff out there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I can't imagine her acceptance speech being especially enthralling, but time will tell. Thank you very much.
Have you heard her Sonya Blade lines?
No.
I'm going to get you. We're not going to do this again, Shao Kahn.
There's your news for you. See you later. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.